Yeah, for sure. I mean, just from the jump after entering the portal, I mean, it was such a different process for a kid that went through recruiting before, like all the changes that came with college football. So for me, it was just my family and close circle. It was gathering information and then making the best decision for me and taking a look and just really seeing what that best fit was. And I came down here, and I mean, you fall in love with the weather, you fall in love with people, great coaches, great teammates. I love the direction that Coach Napier is taking this. And it's a program, it's a setup that is it's a pro program. You know, I mean, you could take program, but if you capitalize the pro, that's how he runs it here. So really just from the start fell in love with this, and I knew this was the place where I wanted to be.
So it was the entire package rather than there was one thing you could point to in the transfer portal that you were looking for your next step?
I think it was at the point in my career, it was the whole thing. And I mean, it was a no-brainer. Like I said, as soon as I came down here, I took a quick visit, and I knew getting on that plane back that this is where I wanted to be.
What do you think Billy looks for in a quarterback?
I think he just looks for, like, everybody kind of has that cliche quarterback, but it's a leader, someone that can make their teammates better and can do their job so well that it frees people up to play free. So that's our job as a quarterback. That's what our whole room is set out to do every day, and he does a great job of reminding us of just like the little things we got to do, just to really make the team better. You know what I mean?
Did you feel like a change of scenery was something that you wanted, needed? I don't know.
For sure. I mean, I started a lot of games. I think it was like 30, 32, 34 games at Wisconsin. Love that place, love those people. But I mean, I was at the point in my career where I needed a fresh start, and I was excited for it. So it's really refreshing to get down here and get going. But yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it.
Your first start, I mean, after that, like going up against Illinois, you had a great game, and then did you feel a bunch of pressure after that, or I mean?
No, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I got COVID right at the day after. So it was you go from that, your first start, living out your childhood dreams, to getting hit with COVID right in the face. So you get that smack of reality. But I mean, never really had any that external pressure of expectations. I mean, for me, it's just doing my job every time I'm on that field. And I think like this sport and this position, you can simplify it to that and just go out and execute. So
you were billed as this passing savior of that program. How did you internalize that? Because you said you didn't feel any pressure, but so how did you not feel that pressure? Because you were like the guy.
I think I owe that to my parents. I mean, from just how they brought me up, just humble beginnings, and never letting anything get to either my head or my sister's heads, or really just keeping us as a close family and having that rock. I mean, I never placed value in expectations or any of that, because I know that in my process, in my journey, if I do my job every day, then good things happen. If I don't, then good things won't happen. And I think that for me, having that, just kind of having that foundation that my parents installed for me, I mean, I think that holds more weight than anything, especially in a society like today that there's so many external things that and that's why parents are so big.
Mm-hmm. So coming here, really, there you went with all the expectations of the world. Here, it's sort of different. You're coming in really having to prove yourself again.
Yeah.
I mean, is that better in a way?
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Speaking of proving yourself, obviously the competition with Jack, how's that been this spring and just going against him throughout camp?
It's been great. I mean, I wouldn't say people always say competition's going against people, but I think that we're pushing each other to be better, and that's one thing that I appreciate a ton. That he's helped me out on just little playbook things that he kind of took and when he was learning it. So I mean, our goal is to make this team as good as it can be, and we're pushing each other each day to do that. So I mean, I've loved everything he's done, everything that we do every day. We work together every day for hours. So it's we're doing it together, and we're doing it for this team. So I think that people always make these to be against each other, but it's the furthest thing from that.
Talk to us about your jersey number. Is that
Yeah.
temporary or is that permanent?
I mean, that was coach's decision. Yeah, I mean, I just think I've always been 5. I mean, I was 15 growing up. Sisters have been 15. Then get to high school and college, I was 5, and then kind of just mix it with the great history of that number here. I mean, I'm very appreciative to get that number, and it was special the first time I saw it. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. But I think just mixing in family and the history, I mean, that number means a lot to me.
So you wanted that number and you embraced the history.
Yeah.
You don't feel the pressure?
No.
All right.